What's up, guys? It's Numotus. Numotus is all about new movements and revolutionizing things. And right now, I want to help revolutionize your workflow by showing you how I create music. So this is the Power Hour Song Challenge episode 3. And right now, we're going to create a song in 1 hour. So let's go. Let's get the... let's get that open. Let's get the timer going on. Oh, it's at 59:58. I think I can spare 2 seconds. Let's do this. Okay, so I wanted to start out with a choir for this track. So I have this loaded up. It's just 2 instances of the basic choir. One's the ah and one's the So I think layering them usually sounds really good. And then I just want to grab a chord progression and see what's good so I can save some time. I don't like that one. That sounds pretty cool. I guess we can roll with that. And then let's get some kind of like, let's get some kind of bass playing underneath that for the intro. So let's grab Spire for the bass and see. I should probably download more presets for Spire. But I'm pretty sure we got some good bass presets in here. So what I want to do is just only take the lowest ones and then get like a good kind of something like that. But we're gonna change that sound. That sounds not great. Not really what I'm going for there. Turn it down a little bit. So I usually will just start messing around like that, and I actually kind of like how that sounds, where like I'm gonna leave this oscillator. Maybe we can turn on some of these other oscillators too, but I'm gonna leave this oscillator 2 at the same octave and then mess with the octave of oscillator 1. So it's almost like I have 2 synths playing and I'm changing the note of the second one. So maybe we can turn up. So that sounds pretty good. I usually will put low passes and high passes on pretty much everything. So I have this like low pass filter rack, and pretty much it just turns off when you get to the top, which is convenient for me. But I'm gonna start it at the bottom and have it come in. So I just have like a droniness. And then I want some kind of melody to come in here. So I'm gonna start adding sections now. What do we? 145 BPM is good. I didn't really consider changing the BPM. That's just the way my template loads. But so let's say that the song, excuse me. Let's say the song drops here, and then we have like a drop part 2 here. And then we have our breakdown, or I'll call it a cool down. And then we have our like build 2. And then we have a drop 2. And drop to part 2 and outro. And the song is like almost 4 minutes. That sounds good. So we can already get a little bit of a melody by automating this. What I'm gonna do is hit configure and hit the octave. I guess octave up. Yeah, there we go. And now I can automate this essentially. But first I'm gonna map it to a macro so that I can say it only goes from this 0. Maybe it's that -1. So I don't want it to go up to 4. And what I can do is now group those all together, Command J, to consolidate, and right click and say show modulation. And right here now I have that parameter being modulated here. And the way this works is you move down from the maximum point. So I want to start at the bottom. Yeah, let's do something like that. It's easier to deal with this by hitting B and then drawing in your automation or your modulation. So I like something like that, and I can hit loop here and then bring this back. Perfect. So now I'm choosing a lead to go here. This is just a preset that I made a little while ago, which is included in one of the packs on my Patreon, so go check that out. Link will be in the description. But let's get started writing this melody. And we want to grab our chord progression so we know what notes to use. And yeah, let's make this purple. I love purple. Hit 0, hit fold, so that makes it super easy. Up 1 octave. Yeah, so because of the way the preset is, it kind of slides down to the next note on legato mode. But I like this kind of flow. So we're using, yeah, there, F3 I think would be good. Oh, I screwed that up. I wanted to only change the second half of that. So yeah, that's why I like to instead of just dragging this out where now you're gonna change both halves of this, I just duplicate it, and then we have a different section. So I had this, I put that over there. And I had this go G sharp. And then we can have some nice, well, I already have action strikes loaded here, and I think that'll be a nice intro. And then we'll have a regular kick and snare come in later. Let's check on time. I have 49 minutes, so we're making pretty good progress. Because I have a solid melody. But let's see. Let's grab no. Action strikes. Yeah, I just want hits. And then it seems like these are always kind of quiet, so I'll just quickly put a glue compressor on here and turn it up, and maybe so I'm trying to kind of get the flow of the drums to follow the melody, like do 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 do. No, that works better. This is going to be our build here. So I kind of don't like the way this actually progresses, where like where this probably wants to go here and then come down. I don't know why this is selecting it oddly. There we go. So at this point, I kind of just want to kind of hold the energy for the build while it rises, without using the progression, and in that way, kind of hold the energy. And then for the lead, have it go even faster. Do. And then we'll put some fills, maybe vocal in right there. And I think I just want to add like a kind of super saw, just something, some other layer to this lead. I'm gonna use razor because I have it open. Let's see what I can put from here. And let's bring that down another octave. And that's something that I want to bring in. That makes it sound so huge, but really really unfocused. So that's something I want to bring in as a layer for the lead in the drop here. So again, let's put this back on the screen where you can see it, and hit configure over here, and grab this parameter, map it to macro 1. And then we were at around 70%. So you got to type in 0.7, not 70. And then you can crank it into oblivion. And then I also would like to uncheck map and then put a low pass on here afterwards, and then I can map this frequency now to macro 1, so this will kind of come down. So set the max at around like 6K so that it's not so incredibly bright. Not that much. I just want to get rid of the very highs that are kind of harsh when you turn that up. So like 10K is probably good. And honestly, I don't need that to be mapped. I just am gonna leave it at 10K here, because you get some unnecessary. You hear the filter moving. I don't really want that. So let's get started on the drop now. Let's get a beat in here. So I'm gonna make sections for my kick and snare and find samples. My go-to is usually these producer hub ones. Whatever that first one I clicked on was good, but I forget what it was. So let's throw in this number 9. And I usually like to grab a backup one. And one that you can use to kind of take the top of. Bless you, Dave.
Excuse me.
Yeah, my friend Dave's sitting in on this session.
Being a creeper.
Yeah. No, he's the man. He's the man.
And I just farted, so it smells kind of funny right now.
Oh my god. You're motivating me to work quickly. I can't focus on the...
Because it's just going to get worse from here, so you definitely have to finish in an hour.
Yeah. What we're saying is I like to grab a couple kicks that I can use the top end that have a little more... they're a bit more crispy, so they can emphasize the highs, but this kick is really nice and full, and I just want to make it a bit shorter by using this fade, and then grab a pretty good snare. I have a kind of grouped some of the best snares, although I should go through and add more. So that's pretty good. I almost always layer my snare at least two or three layers. So let's get a beat going like this. Oops. Nah. So this, honestly, I like the melody that we have a lot, and I can see this kind of moving forward where like I drop this here and then I turn up that parameter that I mapped here. And then just add more layers into the mix. So I'm gonna grab another, actually I'm gonna grab Silent, because that has a lot of good just like lead sounds to fill up the rest of the space. And I want to use the waves imager to like just make sure that this sound is more centered. Oh man, this is confusing. When I name my things FMA, and now this is silent layer. And just make sure that the width is mostly centered. And then grab just a lead and go through these. And try to find one that kind of fits quite well with that. So that one and the other one that I found before were good to layer, and you can also layer synths like this by simply grouping the instrument and then duplicating it. I'm gonna call this saw because this one is kind of the lead. Open this up again and go back to this. Bring the octave up on a couple of these. We went to a trance show last night. That's why I'm making this right now. It's super trancey, but I really like it. For the build here, we're gonna have to get rid of this part. So I'm going to add the high pass rack this time and just bring it up. And I think I want that more to be like drop part 2, where it plays out the melody, and brings the theme of the track back. And then I definitely want some like basses in here. So let's see, where am I on time? 35 minutes left, so I have more than half the time left. So let's I do want to add this. I think this will sound good. This is like a little tonal snare preset that I used, that I made out of a sample. So I can kind of follow the progression here in the same way that I did with the bass, because this is a tonal snare. So it doesn't sound good like that, but you can pitch these all up an octave and then basically put it at the note that it wants to be, or the note that it should be or is. And there, you know, there's no rules, but so quickly rename that tonal snare prog Tolan snare. Okay. And then we can edit the beat a little bit more. It's probably not very interesting. Add some percussion and stuff in a little bit. Right now I want to move on to the bass. So when I'm trying to do something really fast, I want to get the way that my sub is moving. I want to get that part down first. So again, I'm gonna just copy the bass notes, and we can select the first note of each, or select the first MIDI note of each note, which I just screwed up, and then kind of drag them out so that they are now full again. So in a drop, it's really good to take away the sub sometimes and have it come back in. So the drop, it's like it's always constantly dropping again inside the drop, which provides a lot of energy. And sliding your notes is super duper helpful, because it basically will hit all the different frequencies, or many more frequencies of the sub range. And as you've probably experienced, like in a car or maybe in your room, like different sub notes sound louder, and you always want to, and no matter what room you are, you want to be able to hit that note that's the loudest in that room, simply because of the dimensions of the room. So having notes that slide really help. So let me fold that up, and this is a good way so I can still see what notes I'm using. So I kind of just want to make it slide even slower. That's my pitch decay. Sorry, the glide time should be maybe at almost 300 maybe. So maybe we'll have like a growl here that goes yeah, my next note up in the scale is actually A sharp. Okay. So now that we have that, I can kind of imagine what the growls are gonna sound like, because they take a while to design, at least from scratch, definitely. So that was nice. This like. So because of the amount of time it takes to slide, the note should kind of start quarter note early, and it sounds better, sounds right to me. And then I'm leaving this little bit of space because of what I mentioned before, like you want to take the sub away sometimes. I might go back in and change that, but there's our sub progression. And let's make this dark blue so that I know it is my sub. They're really dark blue. Now I had an idea for these synth fills, so let's do that. Whoa. Let's go in here and turn all the notes off again. So whatever this note's hitting, C3 should be that first note. It's weird that this is not right on the. It's really weird that that's not right on there. Anyway. Okay, cool. It's there. That's not what I want. I think D sharp is part of the scale. And so that goes pretty high, so I want that to kind of be there, but what are my other available notes? Maybe I'll just bring it down like that. So where am I using my sub? So G sharp and A sharp here. No, maybe just do a little variation. Here we don't need variation. Maybe we could just flip this, invert. That does not sound good. And it's too much of like a resolution there. And then here it goes up once again. I'll probably get rid of that so we have another like turnaround type sound, drum fill, maybe vocal happening here before the second half of the drop. So now let's go and try to make a growl real quick. I'm gonna grab Serum. And I'm gonna start off because it's in my head. I'm gonna start off with one of these presets that I created, and you can kind of see that being able to work this fast kind of depends on you having a lot of resources available to you. So it's good to take a lot of time to create those resources. I always will say that like being a producer is a lot like being a chef, where you don't like make everything from scratch. You have another like prep cook come in and do all the prep work and chop all the onions and whatever, and then you're able to make the dish super fast. So that's what this is about. So where did I just put this Serum? Oh, this is great. This is just great. Anyway, like I was saying, yeah, that's why you kind of have to be your own prep cook while you are creating music this fast. So I don't know where that just went. I literally just loaded it and there it is. Okay, that's what I thought, but it's not making noise. Oh, because I put Serum effects there. I'm trying to work too fast. Let's see how much time I have left. 22 minutes. I think we can get a decent like drop flow now. So I'm gonna be picking this, nasty buzz bass, and see how this sounds. I think this will sound good with the bass line that I just made. So I'm actually just gonna drag these parts down. And I don't want it to re-trigger, so I'm gonna hit legato. And this LFO, we can kind of lengthen it. And so there is a way you can get this second half of the Serum modulation to loop, but to be honest, I'm not super experienced with that. So I think what's a good idea at this point is to just grab my sample and freeze and flatten it, or grab my MIDI here, freeze and flatten it, and then I have these different parts of the, or I have the bass in audio now, and so what I'm going to do is group those so that when I put effects on them later, they will conform. So this should sound normal. And what I wanted to do is just have this kind of stutter like so. Hit A to turn off automation mode. Where? There we go. And then here, maybe start a little higher. I don't know about that. I think we'll just go back in and articulate this a bit more later. Dave, you gotta get healthy. Drink some water.
It just pooped. It's really good.
Sounds great. Sounds great. We will always need a peanut gallery.
Wow.
So here for the sub, this is where I'm gonna have my other turnaround happen. So I want the sub to kind of like just drop off, like, oh no, it's gonna stop, and then like boom, it comes back in. So. And then I'm gonna make the drums more just a little more like the drummer is like intensifying the beat now. And again, this is stuff that like once you get to this point, you always kind of go back and make small changes here and there when you really go and finish the song. So there's that. Copy that over again to my drop 2 part 2, and I can copy everything everything here over, and my sub over, and my bass line, copy that over, and then I want maybe I want the sub to actually just follow the synth here. Let's see how that sounds. There's much too much pitch decay, so for this part, just turn that down. Hopefully we can deal with those minor clicks later. I think it's mostly just this. You can turn the release up a little bit, and the attack, make sure that's at like half a millisecond at least. Okay. Then what I want to do is add in percussion, and the way I quickly do percussion is by getting a 128 of percussion, where this is essentially a sampler that's filled with 128 different samples, and you can play them based off of, if you just put it into not a drum rack, you can play them based off which key you're using. But what I'm going to do is use the arpeggiator and drop it onto this drum rack cell, and then I can basically draw a MIDI note here. Did I put this? I put this here. So I have it now playing one note, but I can offset this. Steps. And we can get some kind of rhythm by messing with these parameters and messing with this. So that's good for now. One thing you can do though you know, if you have a little bit more time, is literally resample this and mess with all these parameters, and then you'll get a bunch of different grooves that you can chop up and use in your song. But I'm just gonna go with this for now, and see how this works. That's okay. That's okay. I do think I want to go and do what I just said, and you know, find some more grooves. But that's pretty good. And maybe for drop 2, we won't have it during the first half, so that this last final part of the drop sounds the most intense. And right now, I definitely need to add some hi-hats. So right here, let's grab like a closed down open hi-hat.
Can you see that on the screen?
Nope, there it is. Okay. Yeah, you can see the ones that I've used a bunch of times because there's duplicates from me basically collecting all and saving into the project file, which is a good practice. You know, you just hit collect all and save to once you're finally done with the project, to make sure that you never misplace your samples for that project if you ever want to come back to it. So let's get our hi-hat loop going. We definitely want some like open hi-hats on the offbeat. So that's a little interesting, and it's got a little bit of syncopation there because of that. Kind of liked how that was. That was a little happy mistake, but could change it in the future. Turn these down a little bit. Yeah, I don't really like that. But for the second half, it's a little nice. And then we can copy this. And for the second half, get a little more intense. So that'll go here, and then duplicate. Whoop. Duplicate again. Put them in the second half of the track, and now we got to work on this kind of cool down and build, which I want my choir to come back in during the cool down, but maybe I want to remove a couple of these notes. Let's say this layer of the notes, as opposed to not a huge difference, but just something so that the intensity is building. grab another low pass filter for these. And I can actually have the chords come in here. And then you'll get this feeling of, okay, the drop's about to end. And I can do this on the synths as well. I'm trying to hold Alt and make that a curve. And then have this come back up. And then let's grab this this melody that I have, but use a piano for 9 minutes. Oh snap! Okay, so let's just put a piano in this cooldown, this like bridge section. There's plenty to choose from. I'm gonna grab Alicia's keys. Is that quantized? When I did that just now, it quantized it in a really cool way. So maybe we'll keep that. But I want to use the original. And kind of have that like pause here, like, and then come in with the synths again for the build. So we're gonna copy, I guess from here, but we can make the build seem longer by using this what I did here with the bass for a little bit longer. And this is the high pass, so we'll keep that. Have that kind of come in here. Where's the other? My other automation here. Have that start really low, and then delete it here. We don't need it. And we want to add some delay. To this piano. And reverb also. Plate is fine. And we can kind of have the mix come down so the piano sounds like it's coming closer. Yeah, you have 5 minutes left. So I honestly think this song is pretty done. But we definitely need effects. So I'm gonna throw in effects really quick. We need some impacts. And impact sample. I should be going here to my library and effects, impacts. So this is a cool one. We will need to add reverb to these, but luckily I at least have in my template I have send reverbs, so I can throw this on the send reverb quite a bit. And let's turn all my effects down to like -12, 13. And we can put this in some significant parts of the track and kind of repeat it throughout. One thing I forgot is to copy my drums over from here. Put this into here. Let's see. Maybe they'll come in there. Maybe that's the best way to do it. I don't really want them to happen at the same time as the piano. So maybe a different impact. I do like that one a lot. That's one I've been using in my productions for a while. That's fine for now. We need risers. That's what we need. Right? Okay, I have it in this folder called transition. So let's put that one before the drop. I do like this riser a lot. We didn't really make a turnaround. That's a good riser. And then we can get kind of a normal riser that goes at the end of the drop sections to kind of lead them in and out. That's a pretty good sound to use kind of throughout the track, especially right here. I think on this cooldown, I actually don't want this explosion there. Maybe it can go there. Maybe put that crescendo there. And I honestly don't fully like the way that this this sounds. I don't know if it's possible for me to find another preset for this in 1 minute. Although I do like the way that it's sounding in the drop. Mostly. So let's see. That one might be. That definitely sounds better. And maybe we could add some like cymbals. But I think the timer is literally about to go off. I don't know how many seconds I have left. So let's add that, even though this says Foley. I do like to go back in and add Foley to the tracks to emphasize some of the drums and just to add textures here and there. There it is. Alright, so let's simply just copy these crashes over one more time and listen to what we got. So yeah, I think that turned out pretty darn good. I mean, there's definitely stuff to work on still. Like I mentioned, the percussion and the drop. One thing I forgot to do is copy these to this layer here. So that the synth layer sounds a little more full. So that sounds better. Some other stuff I would definitely work on is finding the tonal balance of the lead, and also this thing I did with the build here. I wouldn't keep that. I would put it back to be like that.
Maybe make a second episode showing everything all done and completed. And
yeah, I probably should do a walkthrough of that, because this one turned out pretty good, and I think I'll definitely go in and finish this. But for now, I don't think you guys wanted to watch the video that was more than an hour long. Haha. So I'm gonna head out and have fun on the interwebs or with your own music production stuff. Yeah, have a great day, guys. Thank you for watching so much. And make sure to check out my Patreon and shout out Dave. Get over here. Hashtag third wave. Peace out, guys. I'm talking too fast. Hey guys, it's Numotus. Blah, blah, blah. I apologize. I will not play that sample again.
I think it's fucking funny. It always reminds me of good times.